Trajectory is pretty fun. Lots of different ways to get the trajectory to go higher and lower. I'm gonna go over the very basic one to start, right? So if I wanna hit a golf ball lower, one of the things that I could do is, I could move the ball back in my stance, right? So when I move the ball back in my stance, what ends up happening is this club shaft ends up leaning a little bit more forward, and you can see when the club shaft ends up leaning more forward that I'm taking the loft off the golf club when I do that. So since I'm moving the ball back and the shaft is leaning forward, that ball's gonna launch lower.
So ball position would be one thing that we could do?
Ball position's super simple, right? Or I could go forward and forward will make it go higher, and then there's somewhere in between. So I can play around with ball position.
Very good. What's another simple way that we could do trajectory training?
It's kind of fun on the launch monitor. Sometimes I just use visualization. So I'll look low on the screen, I'll look high on the screen, I'll look somewhere in between. And it's always amazing to me to see how my body just responds to where I'm looking.
Very good. And then a third way that somebody could play with trajectory would be?
We talked a little bit about it earlier, the whole shaft lean concept, right? So the more you lean a shaft forward, the lower it's gonna go. The more you lean a shaft backwards, the higher it's gonna go, and then there's somewhere in between. So I could play around with that in the setup position if I wanted to, or as I'm coming down into impact, I could feel like I'm gonna try to lean the shaft more, I'm gonna try to lean the shaft less. So I would definitely play around with different amounts of shaft lean with each one of my clubs to see how much I can influence the trajectory.
So you're just playing with that at the setup and during the swinging motion, yeah?